Okay, so exactly 2 weeks from today, I am heading to Portugal for a wedding. I just really wanted to make a dress. So I posted to my Instagram story to ask you guys what color you thought I should pick, and dark green won. But when I got to the fabric store, the dark green was ugly. So I decided to go for this sage green color. Can you please stop licking? Shh, please. Thought this was kind of perfect. So I picked this up. I got 3 meters of it and it is weighty. Full disclosure, I did make a little mistake already. When I went to the fabric store, I was already a little bit overwhelmed in there, and I have to remind you, like, I do live in the Netherlands, so everything I was doing in there, I was translating in my head. And these fabrics were one under the cotton elastane fabrics, which are my favorite to work with. But I was just looking at the footage that I took earlier, and I do believe that this is polyester. You hate to see it, but I have already bought it, so I have to just go forward. But I also don't know like why that didn't occur to me. I got kind of flustered in there, I'm not gonna lie, because I couldn't find exactly the color I was looking for either, so we're learning together. Number one, I do kind of want it to be like a maxi column length. I just think that looks flattering on my kind of short stature. I always appreciate a neckline that's a little bit more on the conservative side when I have a tighter dress. So I think I'm gonna be doing that as well. What I love about like a cotton elastane, which is jersey, which is what I was looking for, is it is really stretchy, so I don't have to use a zipper. So I need to find out if this is going to need a zipper, but let's hope not, because I can do it. I can install a zipper, but it wasn't really what I was hoping to do. Oh my god, it's really hot. So I love this brand called Marcella NYC, and they have this gorgeous one shoulder dress that I wore for my rehearsal dinner for my wedding. I looked at the makeup of the fabric, and it's pretty similar to this fabric that I bought, which is great news because I love the fit of this dress. So I have it right here. Oh, dang it. It does. It has a zipper. So now I'm going to go try to put this on without the zipper, and if it works, then I'm just gonna make the dress with no zipper. Okay, really good news. I was able to get it on just fine with no zipper. I'll be right back. I do want to change the silhouette of this just ever so slightly as well. I want it to be longer because I want to wear heels. I wore it with flats for my rehearsal dinner. And the other thing is, it does do a little bit of like a fishtail moment where it comes back in around the legs, and I want this one to be like a little bit wider, not a ton, just a little bit wider. So yeah, and so I've laid my dress on top and I'm going to cut it, and then this is only like 1/3 of the fabric that I bought. I can't explain it. The foreshadowing here, but I think it should be fine. Okay, so now I'm just cutting out the fabric. I put the white dress on top of this to trace it, but then I remembered that I drafted this other dress for a wedding, and since it was wider than the white one, I knew I'd be able to get it on without a zipper, and I used this one because the neckline and the shape was a little bit more what I was going for. So, as you can see, I just pinned it down and I traced it with my chalk, and then I just cut it out. So here's what it looks like when it's all ready to go. Now the first things that I did was sew along each of the seams on the shoulders and then down the sides. But I also made sure to leave part open for the slit. And of course use a zigzag stitch so that way it will be nice and stretchy. First draft, not bad. This needs a little bit of cinching. And I have to say, even though it is a polyester, the color of this and the way that it's falling, I can't fault it. I think this is like maybe kind of more contingent on the neckline, so maybe that's what I should do next. I'm gonna wear my tan Ally block heels, but these are the same shoe in black, so it'll work for the fitting purposes. Ooh, the black kind of looks good with it too though. I kind of want to do this-ish kind of a thing. That looks cute. Is that something? It's kind of cute. If this was fitted, that kind of like keeps the elegance of it. So this is where I am trying to sew down the front part of the dress. As you can see, I'm doing invisible stitches, which is where you just pick up a few of those fibers so you can't see it on the front part of the garment. However, everywhere that I did this, it was puckering, and to solve that, I just did it in a few spots, but the fibers weren't strong enough, so they kept breaking. So it basically, long story short, did not work. But I thought I'd show it to you anyway. You can kind of see in this next clip those little dimples, and that's where I had sewed it down. So anyway, it's fine. But this is where I was trying to figure out what to do for the armholes, and I decided to just fold them in as usual and give it a stitch. I actually thought about this for a long time because I did not want there to be a seam showing, but I finally just kind of bit the bullet and decided to fold it down because seams are sort of necessary. So this is what it looked like when I was done. And well, I'll let myself tell you how I felt about that, honestly. I'm sorry if you can hear my space heater in the background. When I started working on this dress, I was dying of heat in this room, and today I've got the space heater on. Yesterday, I worked exclusively on finishing the armholes and figuring out the back of the dress here. Now, I have some thoughts at this point. Basically, I feel as though I don't love the armholes the way they've been finished. I mean, they look totally fine. I'm just a little bit of a perfectionist, and I don't like how much puckering is going on, but I'm trying to call it growth and say that I am gonna let it lie. You guys are gonna laugh in 5 seconds. Remember the growth I was talking about? Well, I'm gonna have to do that on another day because I decided to remake this entire dress, but I made it double lined because I kind of figured out a way in my head that I'd be able to finish the armholes and the neckline without having to have seams. So basically what I did is I double paneled the two pieces that would be sewn together to make the front and back of the dress. So in order to do that, I sewed where the armholes were and the neckline and nothing else. And then I joined them together and I sewed all 4 pieces together to make the entire dress. This is what one of the panels looked like when I was done, and I was trying to iron it so I could, you know, make it nice, and it really did not want to lay flat. So I was pretty nervous at this point. But here are all 4 pieces stuck together now, and the last thing that I have to do is just sew up the sides and the seams on the shoulders like I did with the first dress initially. An update. I used the mock-up that I made to do this. This is now double lined. I kind of tried to show you what I was doing, but basically I took 2 pieces and flipped them inside out, so that way we could have, you know, no seam on the arm. What's gonna help is when I want to adjust like the back here and this, I'll be able to sew it to the first layer on the inside and then there won't be any puckering. I also just think it being double lined makes it a little bit more luxurious. So that's kind of nice. Thank God I bought 3 times as much fabric as I needed. What I'm gonna do is take in the rib cage. So here I am just taking in the waist as usual. I am so tired. I basically made this dress in about 4.5, 5 hours, but I think it was kind of worth it because I do think this looks a lot more polished and professional. The only things left to do now are to sew down the neckline and the back and finish the hem, and then I think it's pretty much, it's actually, I think, done. So here I am just sewing up the hem on the bottom. I basically just did a double rolled hem for this one, very easy. And here I am finishing the sides on the side that had the slit on it. And I could sew those ones with a straight stitch because it didn't need to have any stretch for getting it over my head, etc. And then I decided to affix the back of the dress down, but the front I actually left up because I could kind of fold it back and it just stayed that way. But the back had a little too much bulk, so I did sew it to the just one of the panels so it wouldn't show on the outside.